Hey guys, we're back again. We have seen the first leg of the quarterfinals in the Champions League, and we're just going to do a quick review, right? Those were some really good games. I think everybody eventually got the memo that this is the quarterfinals of the Champions League. You know, we no go grief for anybody. So it was, I mean, especially the first day, Arsenal, Bayern, Madrid City, those were pulsating first legs. And we're just going to give what we think is going to happen in the second leg, the key moments that we noticed from the first leg, and just give a general overview. Talk football like we always do.
Yeah,
Charles, you wanna take us off with the Arsenal Bayern game? What were your thoughts on that game?
yeah, Arsenal Bayern. That was an interesting game. So one thing I've not said before, and I want to say for the first time. Well, I've said it before a couple of times, but on that particular game, I was fully convinced that Arsenal are really, really contenders. Bias aside, emotions aside, I'm a Chelsea fan, but honestly, fully convinced that they can challenge not just for the Champions League, but also for the Premier League. Now that game, we saw a lot of attack from Arsenal at some point. Arsenal was pushing. Bayern kind of wanted to go on a counter, which was fine. But I also think Arsenal's somewhat inexperience played a part of not able to predict what Bayern would do when Arsenal loses the ball.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, Arsenal held their ground. Although it was at Arsenal's home, I was actually impressed by how, of course, my main man Trossard came from Bayern, did his thing. I was impressed by that. But I was impressed by the flow of the game from start to finish. How Arsenal handled every single attack that Bayern brought. Most of them were kind of counters, but and Arsenal played because I discussed with an Arsenal fan friend of mine weeks earlier, and he believed that Arsenal should not play like Arsenal plays. Arsenal should let Bayern have the ball. And I was like, he's not playing scared. But I'm like, hey, I thought he's cool. Let him do what he has to do. And I was impressed Arsenal came out
Yeah.
this time. Now, looking at last season, Arsenal had the issue of they had a goalkeeper issue with Ramsdale making errors. They had the Partey injury issues. They didn't, in my opinion, they have the most solid DM or that solid man in midfield. They bought Ryan summer. They bought Declan Rice in the summer, and then Kai Havertz to support Jesus if him and Nketiah are not doing their things. So I personally think Arsenal fixed all their issues, and of course they have super subs in Nketiah and Trossard. They have basically every man for every position right now. And I think that is taking them to the end of the season. And I think this is one season where I think Arsenal will wrap it up well. I think Arsenal will wrap it up well this season because
Okay.
I don't know. I was just very impressed. Now I was talking to a friend yesterday. I talk a lot of non-Arsenal friends. He's on the Barca fan, and he's talking about how Barca is doing. I agree, Barca is doing well, but I brought him back to realize that I don't really say this for my Arsenal fan friends, but this season I actually think Arsenal has what it takes to win both EPL and Champions League. We're talking about Champions League right now, and I would say make a bold statement and say if Arsenal, I've been saying this, Arsenal fans don't believe me. If Arsenal gets in the final, I'll root for them. I'm
We don't
saying,
trust you.
yeah,
That's why.
yeah, I know. But if Arsenal gets in the final, forget about me rooting for them. I actually believe Arsenal will win if Arsenal gets into the final. I'm
That's a
convinced
bold
that
statement.
every problem, position that you guys had last season has been fixed. And you guys have grown as a team. You've been playing together for 2, 3, the like of Saka, Martinelli, 3, 4 years now. They know each other well. I think if Arsenal goes into the final, I'm convinced if I'm a betting man, I'll bet on Arsenal.
So to put it crisply, then you're saying Arsenal will win the second leg against Bayern in Munich because
No,
that's what it takes.
no, I'm saying they have what it takes to win. They
They
can win
have what it
easily
takes.
3-0. They can easily. But
Okay.
anything can happen. It's a football match. But what I'm saying, if Arsenal gets past Bayern Munich, I expect them to get past. I know it's probably going to be Real Madrid or City, and I'm convinced Arsenal can definitely beat City based on what has happened this season. They've beaten them
Wow. Bold
once,
statement.
tied twice. So my rounding up statement is if Arsenal Football Club gets into the Champions League final, I'm convinced they'll win it. I'm convinced.
Interesting. That's bold because honestly, even I as an Arsenal fan, the fact that I think we can get past Munich, but making it to the semifinals and the fact that we're going to meet Madrid or City, I mean, those two teams have some weapons that I think Arsenal, as good as we've been, those two teams just have some X factors that
But
we
let me
maybe
throw something
quite
in
don't
real
have
quick.
yet.
Let me throw something in
Hmm.
real quick. In the Madrid game, I know I didn't
Yeah.
watch the game, but I saw the scoreline. In a game where Alan didn't score. He didn't score,
Mhm.
right?
He
But
didn't score.
Madrid conceded 3 goals
Mm.
in their own home.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
convinced Arsenal can score 3 goals against that Madrid team. Forget about what
Interesting.
happens in Arsenal's backline. Forget about
Yeah.
Saliba and Gabriel being, in my opinion, the best defensive duo in the league right now.
Mm.
Arsenal going forward, they are too deadly to be worried about the back. So that's why I'm convinced they can score. If City can score 3 goals against Madrid, Arsenal can do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, okay, fair. Biodun, let's come over to you. Let's get your thoughts on the quarterfinals. You watched the PSG Barca game, right? What were your thoughts on that game? Mbappe didn't score or do anything of significance in that game. How do you think the second leg is going to go, and what were your key takeaways from that first leg?
I great question. I think it's Barca's to lose. I think Barca did a good job going away with the win, especially knowing that Mbappe is unpredictable. Mbappe is unpredictable, and I will still give him a chance until it's finally over. He couldn't create anything in that game. I mean, he created some passes, but he didn't have a clear chance. The last one that could
Mhm.
have been the equalizer was blocked by the defender last minute that went to the corner.
Mhm.
So that shows you the kind of quality he carries. I think I was listening to or probably reading a chat that somebody said he doesn't like the way he walks around,
Yeah.
which you would notice that in terms of the work rate. So it's just waiting to get the ball and catch on the pitch. But you watch the 16-year-old defender. I can't remember his name for the Barcelona team. It
Kwasi,
was actually yeah, it was actually
Kwasi, yeah.
was ready. It was ready for Mbappe. Was ready
Mhm.
to to defend. So that was a great game. I think Barca has the upper hand, and I think they're going to play at home. Since Xavi announced that he was leaving, things started turning around for Barcelona. I don't know why. But since he announced, things have just started turning around and they play more with confidence. Great kudos to Goodwin, who held the midfield with a lot of confidence. And, they need a senior player like that to hold it. And something new that they did, they brought Rafinha into the midfield, which I've never seen him play in the midfield before. And they played him in the
Mm.
midfield so that Lamin could play on the wing. So that was a different tactics by Xavi. Luis Enrique was the
I thought
former manager.
Rafinha played on the left in that
No,
game.
he was in the midfield. He was just drifting in,
Oh,
but he had a free role, which was strange. He played in the midfield
okay.
and had a free role. So that was interesting to see him play in the midfield. And his chances came from that. Even before he scored, he'd been tormenting PSG. PSG really didn't do much in the first half.
Yeah.
So having said that, on the game that I watched, if PSG could not get a draw in their home, in their backyard,
Mhm.
I don't know what they're going to get in Barcelona. Uh, the
What
only
do you make
chance
of
defense.
sorry to interrupt. What do you make of Chavez's comments that it's PSG are still the favorites? Why do you think he would say that? And is there any iota of truth to that, or is that just mind games?
Mind game.
I think it's a mind game from the managers. He knew his team was a better side in that game.
Mm,
He knew that, and for them to perform that well away, I think that was good for them. PSG has no great defense. That's the truth. PSG relies on the attack, and you can
yeah.
easily score them. And it was a bad day for their goalkeeper. So I don't know how they're going to carry that to Barcelona and think that they can overturn the result. The best that I think they could get there will be a draw, and a draw means they're out.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't
Mm.
give them a chance. But I don't put it past Mbappe to have some opportunities. But I think Barcelona will score. PSG can score, but I think Barcelona will score in that game. The PSG defense cannot hold it down. That's the way I see it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair. All right, thanks, Biodun. Okay, let's talk about the Madrid City game. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know which one it was, but you know, I had to watch the Arsenal game, but also the fact that Madrid and City were playing at the same time also meant that I couldn't miss that game. I don't know who on earth scheduled both games at the same time, so I had to use the multicast.
Mhm.
I hate doing that because I would rather just watch one game and pay attention, but I had to have that on the screen, and man, those goals were out of this world. And that's why, Charles, when you say if Arsenal makes it to the final,
Yeah.
Arsenal can win. When I see the quality of the goals that were scored in that game, I mean, Bernardo Silva's free kick, very inventive. I mean, yes, mistake from the defense, or maybe it's even the goalkeeper because he only had a one man wall. I don't know what you're thinking. I guess maybe he thought it was so far out that he didn't need to protect his. near
So
post, but he had only Vinicius in the wall. But I mean, you look at the quality of that free kick from that far out to catch the keeper out because he sees the keeper step away and he sees a gap. There's only a one-man wall. That's one. You see, I mean, Valverde's finish. You see Rodrigo. And I've been watching Madrid recently. The quality that Rodrigo now has,
yep.
I mean, for that goal that he scored, people thought it was Vinicius making that run because it looked like Vinicius running down that left. And the pass did come from Vinicius. Those two absolutely tormented City down the right. It was, worse for them because they didn't have Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker is injured.
Yeah.
And I think we're in for a treat. Honestly, it's almost impossible for me to call who is going to go out in the second leg because, I mean, they kept replying. Look at the goal Foden scored. Touch,
Can I jump
bang,
in?
into
Can I
the
jump
top
in on
corner.
that? I just remind you guys of something. I
Go
don't know
ahead,
why.
yes.
I I don't wish to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, but I think I'm right, and this is what I see. Honestly, if I were a Madrid fan, I would be preparing for the semifinals. If I were a City fan, I'll be preparing for the semifinals, and I'll tell you why. Have you guys forgotten that this is the same situation we were in last season?
Yeah.
Madrid had a draw at home. It was
Yeah.
1-1,
Yeah.
and it was even worse when you
When they
compare
went
both
to
teams. When the last season Champions League, City was routed and they were afraid, and they were lucky to go away with that 1-1. This time around, they were confident. They played better. And if you listen to Pep, he said, we keep getting better and better. Like, we played with more confidence. We're very confident at this stage, right? So they could try everything they wanted to try. Vardy scored the first goal for City in that fashion. That was his first goal for City, and he scored that kind of a goal, right?
I mean, I feel like it was instinctive. It was a quality goal, no doubt, but it was instinctive because his touch was off, and so he had to hit it.
Exactly. So, that showed confidence. Like, they don't care. They played all out, right? They played all out. They went defensive like they did last season. So for me, if they took a draw, when Madrid went for the second leg last season, they were beaten 4-0. So this time around, I expect City to win comfortably. And I think City is straight through. And that's why I disagree with Charles. If you watch that Madrid City final, if Arsenal made it to the semi-final, honestly, I'm good. I'm comfortable. That's it. But it's two-legged game. We're not going to play defensive both legs. We're going to have to open up. And if you open up with that City game, you're going to have to raise the quality of your game to beat them. And that's why I think City has a better chance than any other team.
Just to say something, I'm actually opposed to the statement City has a better chance. You seem convinced City is going through.
Yes,
that's what he said.
I'm actually convinced Madrid City is the most unpredictable tie in the.
I mean, give me your reasons. Give me your reasons.
Okay, so here are my reasons.
Looking at Pep had played like 8 times. Is one Pep has won most games. Just gave you the last season's results.
I like your last season, but that is last season. Here are my reasons why I think it's open game for both teams. One, Madrid is still the strongest team in the Champions League psychologically. Come rain, come shine. Madrid can lose the first leg 3-0 and beat you 5-0 in the second leg.
Not
come
against
rain, come shine.
No, not against
hold on. That's Madrid. You understand? Second point. City, as we've seen, are not as strong as they were last season. There's something off about them. Could be the defense, it could be the fact that Alan is not scoring as much. There's something off about City. You understand? So those 2 points alone make me believe. No, I got 1 point. Make me believe it's anybody's game. But the final point is this. Since they took away the away goal rule, honestly, I stopped caring about home and away. The 3-3 game is as good as 0-0. It's pointless. The only thing that matters is who wins the next game. And do you think Madrid is City's home? They don't. So honestly, that game is open to anybody. It could end up being a 1-0 goal, maybe a lucky goal from Rodrigo, and they lock up and nothing happens. And we know Haaland this season, if you really stand toe-to-toe with him, he probably wouldn't score. So the point is, I'm not saying City won't win, but you are too confident that City will win. I'm saying it's very open. Because it's Champions League and it's Real Madrid, it's anybody's.
Yeah. I mean, just the way, I think if it was like one team complete, I mean, City dominated the game. Let's not get this. I mean, City dominated that game and they were at the Bernabeu, which is impressive. But the way Madrid was able to pop up with goals, And that's what mean about X Factor, right? Look at that cross from Vinicius to Valverde. I mean, almost any other player in the world, at other regular teams would have brought that ball down first and then, maybe try to find the pass or then taking a shot. But to arrive in the box and take that shot first time and hit it as sweet as he did. But look at Foden's goal. Look at Silva's goal. I mean, those goals came out of nowhere. Like, it's just pure quality from top level players. That tells me that anything can happen in that game. Like, it's really almost unpredictable.
Yep.
And Pep did go defensive. I think we were talking about it in the group chat, right? About him starting Kovacic with Rodri, which tends to be what he goes for when he's trying to set up more compact. He also had, what's it called? He also had Grealish starting, which is also rare, right?
Yeah.
That's what he does when he's looking for work rate, when he's looking to be more solid off the ball. Yeah, we're in for a treat, guys. I'm looking forward to next week.
Definitely.
All right, let's quick touch. I think Madrid and Dortmund didn't get the memo, and then Alera, who disappointed us sadly in that AFCON final, decided to drag Dortmund back into the time. Like, really, you were going to announce yourself in January, but Champions League of the quarterfinal, nothing's happening with Dortmund, and then he's like, I'm still here. So
maybe
Dortmund aren't quite out. I mean, again, quality goal from was it Leno? I think the chip pass from Griezmann. I don't know if you guys caught that from Griezmann to Leno. Took it one time, finished. I mean, quality goals from Atletico. I expect Atletico will go through in that second leg, but let's not count Dortmund out just yet.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, Atletico is gonna. On paper, I will pick Atletico because I mean they know how to play the dark arts of football, and they can just go there and just contain. They know how to defend very well, and I think they can do that, and they can still get a goal. They know how to get a goal even when they are defending.
Yep.
And trust me, Griezmann remains one of the most underrated players, currently, and he's very hardworking. But people also forget he's very skillful and very deadly in front of goal.
Oh yeah.
That pass was such an intelligent play that most people would not do that, even folks that play the ball every day in and out. And he actually, number one, got himself out of the offside trap.
Offside, yeah, so intelligent.
So that was so intelligent, and that's the kind of quality that he possesses. So sometimes the way they play, they just need him and one person up front, and the rest of them can defend all day. We'll see, maybe Dortmund can use their pace on the wings because that's how they play. They break out on counter, and they have Adeyemi and the likes of all these guys that can run their life. And see if they will do that against Atletico. But I expect Atletico to sit back and probably just play 0-0 or 1-1, and that will be it. But
I mean, what I found even more intelligent about Griezmann's pass was the movement to come back onside, spin around, and make that pass. That pass was his first touch. I don't know if you guys realized that. He got back onside, spun along with the pass of the ball, and then chipped it over. I mean, brilliant, intelligent. Charles, your question.
Yeah. So considering Atletico, Dortmund are like the walkovers of the group of the teams in the quarterfinals right now, do you guys think that gives either the winners of PSG and Barca easy access to the final?
I mean, it's Atletico. They haven't been as solid under Diego Simeone recently. I don't think they've been as good this season, but you can never count Simeone out, especially because of Oblak. I mean, Oblak tends to pull out some saves to dig them out of, situations. I watched their game against, was it Barca or Real Madrid, and they were completely destroyed. So they haven't been as solid this season, but you never want to rule out Diego Simeone. Okay. It's like you say with Pep, the coach factor is there.
Yep. Always.
All right, awesome review. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Catch you in our next video. If you haven't, please like.
Who do we have? I also was thinking, does everybody agree that City will go through?
No,
we don't.
That's the unpredictable.
We don't have a consensus. Okay.
No consensus. Yeah.
No consensus. The only agreement we have is Atletico will go through. Everybody else is open season.
It's open, yeah. All right, guys. Until the next time.
All right.